Ladies and gentlemen, let me have your attention for just a minute now. I said, ladies and gentlemen. See, I didn't come here today to entertain you. I came to wake you up. I came to remind you that the gift inside of you, that thing you were born to do, it ain't gonna shine if you keep treating it like a hobby. Now, listen, everybody wants success. Everybody wants the dream, but let me tell you something my mama used to say. If you don't water your own grass, don't be mad when it ain't growing. Tonight, we're gonna talk about something real, something powerful, something life-changing. Focus on your craft. Because talent without focus is like a car with no gas. It looks good, but it ain't going nowhere. So buckle up, folks. We're about to dig deep, get real, and unlock what's already inside you. You ready? Let's go. Your gift will make room, but only if you show up for it daily. That means the thing you were born with. That special ability only asterisk you asterisk have. It already has the potential to open doors, create opportunities, and change your life. But let me tell you something a lot of people don't want to hear. Potential without discipline is useless. See, too many folks are sitting around waiting for their big break, thinking that just because they're talented, the world owes them something. But talent that's not being worked on, talent that's not being sharpened every single day, starts to fade. When you show up for your gift daily, talking about putting in work when nobody's watching, when it's not glamorous, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, asterisk, that's asterisk, when things start to shift, that's when you start building momentum. You don't wait until you feel inspired. You don't wait for the perfect conditions. You clock in on your dream the same way folks clock in for their 9 to 5. You make your gift your business. And showing up daily doesn't always mean working harder. It means working asterisk smarter. Asterisk studying your field, learning your weaknesses, getting feedback, staying humble, staying hungry. Every rep you do, every page you write, every hour you practice, you're stacking bricks. You're building the foundation for something strong, something that lasts. See, your gift is powerful, but it needs your commitment. It needs your respect. You can't just flirt with it on the weekends and expect a lifetime of success. Daily effort, daily discipline, that's what separates the ones who asterisk had asterisk talent from the ones who asterisk did something asterisk with it. Distractions are dream killers. Stay locked in. In this world we live in today, distractions come dressed up like opportunity. They look shiny, they look exciting, they promise quick success, but all they really do is pull your eyes off the prize. You got a goal, you got a craft, you got something you're trying to build, but every time you stop to scroll, every time you say just 5 more minutes, every time you chase something that ain't aligned with your purpose, you're giving your future away in pieces. You can't master your craft if you're constantly checking who liked your last post. You can't reach your potential if you're spending your energy comparing your journey to somebody else's highlight reel. That's wasted focus. That's power leaking out of your mind. Staying locked in means guarding your time like it's treasure, because it asterisk is. Asterisk, every minute you spend distracted is a minute you could have been growing, practicing, getting better, getting sharper. The dream doesn't wait for you to feel like it. The craft doesn't evolve on its own. You got to protect your space. That means turning your phone off sometimes. That means saying no to people, even the ones you care about, when what they're asking for is pulling you off track. That means removing noise, mentally, physically. Sometimes that means disappearing for a while. Not forever, just long enough to get so focused, so committed, that when you come back, your results speak louder than anything you could have posted. Distractions don't always look dangerous. Sometimes they look like fun, like comfort, like just one time. But every time you choose distraction over discipline, you're trading long-term greatness for short-term relief. And that's a deal that never pays off. Stop chasing applause, start chasing mastery. The claps, the likes, the praise, that stuff feels good, no doubt about it. But if you're only working for validation, you're going to burn out real quick. Because applause fades. Trends change, people get quiet. And if the only reason you're putting in the work is to be seen, then the moment no one's watching, you'll stop. You'll fold. You'll lose your hunger. But mastery, now that's different. Mastery is about going deep, not wide. It's about doing the same thing over and over until you can do it in your sleep. It's about being excellent even when nobody's clapping. Chasing mastery means you're not worried about being the loudest in the room. You're worried about being the sharpest. You're focused on your craft, not your followers. You're putting in hours, not just uploading highlights. You're studying, refining, adjusting because the goal is to be great, not just popular. See, applause is a moment. Mastery is a mindset. Applause comes from outside. Mastery grows from within. You've got to ask yourself, are you doing this to be seen or are you doing this to be asterisk? Asterisk because one leads to a flash of attention and the other leads to legacy. When you chase mastery, you fall in love with the process. You learn to love the grind. You stop looking at how many people are watching and start looking at how much better you're getting. Applause might put your name in a room, but mastery will keep it there. People will always cheer when you're on top. But what's gonna keep you on top is the discipline to work like no one's watching, to grow in silence, and to perfect what you do because you respect asterisk. It's not because you want a trophy for it. You can't level up if you keep skipping reps. Everybody wants to be great, but not everybody wants to go through the process. They want the spotlight, they want the results, they want the lifestyle, but they don't want to do the daily work it takes to get there. See, every rep you skip, every time you take a shortcut, you're building cracks into your foundation. And when the pressure hits, those cracks will show. That's why it's not just about doing the work. It's about doing it consistently, doing it right, and doing it even when you don't feel like it. Reps aren't glamorous. Nobody sees you at 5 a.m. practicing the same skill over and over. Nobody claps for you when you choose discipline over comfort. But that's where greatness lies, in the hidden hours. It's in the moments when you push yourself to show up even though you're tired, when you focus on the little details that others overlook. That's what builds mastery. That's what separates the ones who talk from the ones who deliver. Skipping reps is like building a house and leaving out bricks because you're in a hurry to see the roof. It might go up fast, but it won't stand long. Every single rep you put in, whether it's writing, rehearsing, practicing, studying, it's a brick. And over time, those bricks turn into a structure that no storm can shake. You've got to respect the grind. You've got to honor the process. Because when the moment comes for you to shine, it won't be luck. It won't be magic. It'll be the result of every single rep you didn't skip. Every single moment you chose to show up when it was easier to stay comfortable. Consistency beats talent when talent ain't working. You can be the most naturally gifted person in the room, but if you don't show up, if you don't put in the work, if you don't stay committed, then all that talent is just potential collecting dust. The world is full of talented people who never made it, not because they weren't good enough, but because they weren't consistent enough. They showed up when they felt like it. They worked hard when it was convenient, but consistency, that's what builds champions. Consistency doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means showing up on the hard days just like you do on the good days. It means pushing through doubt, through fear, through boredom, through fatigue. Because the truth is, the people who win in life are not always the most gifted. They're the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who kept swinging even when nobody was watching. The ones who kept learning even when they kept failing. The ones who kept building even when progress was slow. Talent may get you noticed, but consistency keeps you in the game. When you're consistent, you create momentum, you build discipline, you develop habits that make success automatic. That's why you'll see people with half the talent rise above those with natural gifts. Because they just kept going, day after day, week after week. They understood that success is not about flashes of brilliance. It's about steady progress. It's about stacking good days. It's about trusting the process. When you're consistent, you gain trust from others and, more importantly, from yourself. You stop questioning your ability because you've proven to yourself time and time again that you can show up and deliver. And the moment you make consistency part of who you are, not just something you do when you feel motivated, that's when you unlock a whole new level of power. You stop relying on hype and you start relying on habits. Because habits beat hype every single time. Treat your craft like a calling, not a side hustle. When you treat something like a side hustle, it always comes second. It gets your leftover energy, your leftover time, your leftover focus. But when you treat your craft like a calling, it becomes a part of who you are. It's no longer just something you asterisk do asterisk. It's something you asterisk are asterisk. You show up differently, you move with intention, you build with care. You stop waiting for motivation and start showing up out of responsibility to your gift. A calling means you don't need external validation to keep going. You don't need someone to tell you it's worth it. You already know it's worth it because it came from within. It's the thing that won't let you sleep, the thing that lights you up, the thing that keeps pulling you back no matter how many times you get knocked down. When it's a calling, it's not about popularity. It's not about going viral. It's not about applause. It's about doing it because you know you were meant to. Treating your craft like a calling means you give it your best, even when no one's watching. You study, you practice, you take the boring reps seriously. You invest time, energy, money, sweat, focus, not because you have to, but because you asterisk want asterisk too. Because something inside of you won't let you settle for average. You start setting a higher standard for yourself. You stop comparing your path to others because you realize your path is sacred. Your growth is personal. Your journey is yours alone. You take losses differently when it's a calling. You take wins differently too. The grind feels different. The sacrifices feel more meaningful. You start saying no to things that don't align. You protect your time. You build discipline because you know discipline is how you honor your gift. And most of all, you stop thinking if this works and start thinking how far can I take this? Because side hustles have limits, but a calling has no ceiling. A calling grows with you, and the more you pour into it, the more it begins to pour back into your life in ways you never imagined.